In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Emilio Braga notebook. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. So this is the Emilio Braga Cloud Notebook. This particular color scheme that we have here is a special one for a stationery store called Little Otsu, which is where I bought this notebook. No affiliation to them, but if you're looking for this particular color, I think you have to buy it through them. But the rest of the colors, that the normal standard ones, are just as bright and wild as this one. So let's take a look a little bit closer. The paper strap here, we have a handmade product since 1918. We have the Emilio Braga logo and smooth paper here. This is a blank one. Believe they come in grid and ruled as well. So looking on the back here, we can just see their website, emiliobraga.com. Let's remove the strap. On the cover here, we have composition style notebook here in green and black, and then we have this blue cloth along the spine and the edges. Really cool looking notebook. Now, the spine is rounded, which is very nice. We have a headband here. I believe it's white and red. And then if you look at the edges here, you'll see that the book block is marbled, and they do this sort of hand sponge technique. Pretty cool. The colors on this are very bright, very vibrant. Now, the feel and the look of it is all super nice. This is, a paper hardcover here, and then you have like the linen. It's a very good looking notebook. Now, this is a label that it says you're supposed to just glue it here or wherever you want. I don't know. I guess I would have preferred a sticker probably, but it's cool that they give you that option. Now on the paste down here, you can see it's pretty translucent, this paste down. So you can see there's like a piece of paper here, and you can see there's sort of like glue and like weird kind of, not weird, but you can see where the cloth is folded over. I would have probably liked to see a little bit more of an opaque paper there. You do get a liner sheet. You have grid on one side, and then a very fine rule. I believe this is probably, it's got to be 5 mil. Yeah, it's 5 millimeters, and I believe that's the same for the grid. Yep, 5 millimeters. And then we can see a little bit about Emilio Braga here in Portuguese, because this is a Portuguese company from Lisbon. These are made in Portugal, and they have been making notebooks for over 100 years, since 1918. So very cool that they're still doing this, and of course it looks really cool. Let's take this out here. Now, the paper is a 90 GSM paper. It's a smooth paper, kind of a cream color. The hand marbling sponge thing that they do on the side does show up a little bit on the page. Not really distracting, and just, something that's kind of unavoidable with that technique. You can probably see it maybe a bit more here. We've got about 12 signatures, which is really good. About 200 pages here, or we have 200 pages, that I know. And it's a very nice binding. It lays flat. It's bound, or it's hand sewn, so quite nice. It is a hardcover. You do get a little bit of, resistance from this, but very nice, very comfortable notebook to use. I've really enjoyed using this notebook. There's no other features to it other than the liner sheet and the label. So let's go into the paper test here. Looking at the face of this, it's not bad. You definitely get the texture of the paper coming through. We do see just a touch of feathering on the Pilot 6 millimeter. You do just get ever so slightly. I don't really see too much on the Mont Blanc, which is quite a wet nib, and the rest look pretty good here. No other complaints on the face of it. On the back, we do get spotting. We do get bleeding on the Pilot Parallel, 6 millimeter, the Mont Blanc OBB, a little bit on the Montegrappa Fortuna Medium, although that writes more like a fine, and we also get some on the TWSBI Eco Extra Fine. So not the most fountain pen friendly paper. I think if you go with, fine or below, you're going to be able to write on both sides, no problem. You don't really feel a lot of the riding through on the other side because it is that 90 GSM weight. The Otofude ball, we did get a little bit of spotting, a little bit on the Uniball Air Micro and the Pentel Energel, the 1.0 millimeter one, and maybe actually just a teeny tiny bit on the Pentel Energel 0.5 millimeter. And then we did get bleeding on the permanent markers, the oil drawing pen, and the Copic sketch. So, you know, it's not the best fountain pen friendly performance. Here's another page where I did some writing, and you can just see it coming through a decent amount. Now, interestingly, this is a Mont Blanc OBB. You know, we didn't see, just kind of almost randomly we're getting spotting. I'm not exactly sure what that's about, and it's very, I don't know, it's something to do with the composition of the paper where it just comes through quite strongly in certain spots. It's interesting. The face of the paper looks great. You know, I've been using this notebook for quite a while now, and I've enjoyed writing in it with fountain pens. Sorry, I think I said this was Montegrappa. This is actually a Opus 88, a 1.5 millimeter stub that we're seeing that through. But we did get one or two spots here and there on that Montegrappa pen. So what are my pros and cons for the Emilio Braga notebook? The biggest pro is definitely the eye-catching looks. I mean, this is a super bright, super loud notebook. I really like the green with the blue cloth, and then we have the bright yellow hand sponged book block. It looks really cool. Quite a wild looking notebook. Now, I also really like the build quality. They did a great job putting this thing together. I like the rounded spine. I like the sort of high quality cloth that we're getting on the spine here and the corners. It feels really nice. The binding is hand stitched, and there are, I believe, 12 signatures. And it's a very nice notebook to use. I also like that it's only $24. It's a pretty good price for a notebook of this quality, I think. In terms of cons, the paper. Now, I like writing on this paper, but even with fine nibs, you're going to get a little bit of bleed. Now, you don't have feathering, so the face of the paper, I think, looks pretty good. And I've been using this notebook with fountain pens, thinner nib ones, and it works for me, for my purposes, fine. But if you can't handle any little bit of bleeding, you won't like this notebook. It's not the most fountain pen friendly paper. I do think it is a nice quality paper. It has a nice feel to it. It's nice to write on, but you do get that bleed. And that is really my only con for this notebook. And that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.